The first phase would begin with a total fracture of the narrative. Helen explained that the system is not sustained only by weapons, bases, or governments, but by its ability to organize the interpretation of events. First, it decides what exists, then it decides how it must be named. Finally, it teaches humanity to ridicule, fear, or reject anything that falls outside that frame. Phase 2. The opening of passages. The second phase would be activated if the system attempted to move toward an irreversible point. Helen was careful with this part. She said it would not be about evacuating crowds or choosing who deserved to be saved and who did not. That would be the logic of the colonizers. The ancestral intervention in this phase would seek to preserve what could not fall into custodian hands during the fracture of the narrative. Phase 3. Public appearance. The third phase would be the most delicate and would only occur if the previous phases were no longer sufficient, or if humanity reached a degree of understanding capable of receiving an open presence without kneeling, without attacking, and without turning any truth into another official fanaticism. Helen explained that the public appearance of the ancestrals would never be an arrival from above. That would belong to the old deception. If it were ever to happen, it would come through routes that had always existed. Coasts, passages, corridors, regions beyond the walls, ancient maritime routes, and zones humanity had been educated not to look toward. Not all would appear at once, not all would speak, not everything would be shown in a single day. But there would be enough presence to break the monopoly of the narrative. Ancestral delegates, Anakim representatives, archives, evidence, vessels, living testimonies, and signs impossible to reduce entirely to mockery or forgery. It would be known. Helen insisted that this presence would not aim to establish a new authority. If one day we reveal ourselves, she said, the first thing humanity must understand is that it must kneel before no one. We will intervene. The warning.